One moment, it lights up our skies. The next it's gone. The moon has exploded, and millions of fragments are now racing toward Earth at thousands of miles per hour. What caused this cosmic catastrophe? And how will life on Earth survive the fallout? Buckle up, this is what would happen if the moon was suddenly destroyed. Part 1. Moon debris crashing toward Earth. When the moon exploded, it didn't just vanish, it became a deadly storm of debris. Millions of fragments, some no bigger than a baseball, others the size of skyscrapers, were launched into space at terrifying speeds. Earth's gravity, ever loyal, began pulling those pieces in, one by one. At first, you see brilliant streaks of light in the night sky like the world's most beautiful meteor shower. But this cosmic show is no celebration. Those glowing trails, they're fragments of our former moon, heating up as they rip through the atmosphere at over 25,000 miles per hour. Smaller pieces would burn up before reaching the surface. But the larger ones, they'd slam into Earth with the force of hundreds of nuclear bombs. Skyscrapers would crumble. Forests would ignite. Cities could be wiped off the map in seconds. And this wouldn't be a one-time event. The bombardment could last for weeks, maybe even months, depending on the size and distribution of the debris cloud. Every night, a new round of lunar shrapnel could rain down from the skies, unpredictable and merciless. But the damage doesn't stop there. Even without a direct hit, the sheer heat generated by constant atmospheric impacts would begin to cook our planet. Imagine global temperatures rising by 10, 20, even 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Crops would fail. Wildfires would rage. Ecosystems would collapse under the heat stress. And remember, this is just the beginning. The moon's destruction has set into motion a chain reaction of catastrophes, and the first wave is already deadly. You can't run. You can't hide. Our atmosphere is under siege. So while the night sky might look magical at first, what's falling isn't stardust, it's the end of the world, one burning piece at a time. Part 2. Climate chaos and rising heat. The impacts start subtly. A little warmer here, little drier there. But soon, the planet begins to feel it, a fever that won't break. As moon fragments continue to bombard our atmosphere, the friction generates immense heat. Each impact may last seconds, but the cumulative effect is relentless. Temperatures start to climb not just by degrees, but by dozens of degrees Fahrenheit. Within weeks, heat waves grip entire continents. Crops begin to wither. Rivers shrink. Forests, already dry and fragile, turn into giant tinderboxes. Wildfires erupt across the American West, spreading faster than any firefighting team can control. Cities like Phoenix, Dallas, and even parts of Chicago report daily highs over 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Power grids collapse under the weight of mass air conditioning demands. And then the blackout begins. Without the moon's stabilizing influence, our planet's rotation is thrown into disarray. The axial tilt, once fixed at a steady 23.5 degrees, now begins to wobble violently and unpredictably. Weather patterns shift. Storm systems become more chaotic, more frequent, and much more deadly. Some regions are plunged into record-breaking droughts. Others are drowned in unending torrential rain, leading to floods not seen in modern history. Coastal cities from New York to New Orleans face the double threat of rising seas and violent superstorms. In Alaska and Canada, permafrost melts, releasing methane gas, one of the most potent greenhouse gases on Earth. The result? A runaway greenhouse effect, where the heat feeds itself. The planet spirals into an unstoppable warming cycle. In the southern hemisphere, massive glaciers in Antarctica fracture and collapse into the sea. Sea levels rise by inches every month, turning beach towns into lost cities. Entire nations begin to vanish beneath the waves. And it's not just nature that suffers. Human life becomes a desperate struggle for shade, clean water, and breathable air. The heat isn't just inconvenient, it's lethal. Death tolls soar from heatstroke, dehydration, and fire-related disasters. All of this because the moon is no longer there to shield us. Its absence is more than symbolic. It's like removing a silent partner that had been balancing Earth's every breath. Without that balance, the planet spirals. Not just into chaos, but into a whole new Earth. One that we may not be able to survive. Part 3. The Earth loses its axial stability. You may not think about it often, but right now, our planet is spinning perfectly, tilted at just the right angle, 23.5 degrees. That gentle lean. It's the reason we have seasons, with it, even agriculture as we know it. But without the moon, that balance is gone. Completely. Shattered like the moon itself. The Earth begins to wobble. Not slowly, not predictably, but chaotically, tilting as little as 10 degrees or as much as 45 degrees. And every degree matters. A shift of just 1-2 degrees in the past may have sparked ice ages. Now imagine a 10-degree swing. Or 20. Or 30. Suddenly, the tropics could freeze and the poles could boil. Rainforests turn to tundra. Deserts flood. Entire weather systems collapse. In the US, places like Florida could become unlivable, either scorched by heat or drowned by superstorms. Alaska might become lush and green, while Kansas is buried beneath mountains of ice. Seasonal cycles, the rhythm of life, break down. Spring arrives then vanishes. Summer lingers or never comes. Crops fail, planting seasons become guesswork, and global food supplies dwindle. Farmers can't predict frost anymore. Storms strike out of nowhere. Climate refugees number in the millions, and that's just in the first few years. And it's not just the tilt. Without the moon to anchor our spin, Earth may begin to rotate faster or slower, unpredictably. Some days may last 6 hours, others 40. Circadian rhythms collapse. Human sleep cycles disoriented. Biological clocks broken. And there's no going back. Once Earth begins this chaotic dance, there's no celestial partner to steady its steps. Scientists once thought Jupiter's gravity might help stabilize Earth, but it's over 400 million miles away. Far too distant, far too late. So as the skies swirl, as temperatures lurch from one extreme to the next, life doesn't just struggle. It adapts or it vanishes. The Earth is still here, but it's not the same world. It's not the same home. It's a spinning roulette wheel of fire and ice, and we're all just waiting to see where it lands. Part 4. Tidal collapse and dying oceans. You might not notice them every day, but tides are the silent breath of our oceans. Rising, falling, shaping the rhythm of life along every shoreline on Earth. And behind it all, the moon, our planet's invisible conductor, pulling at the seas with just the right force, at just the right pace. But now it's gone. No moon, no tidal pull. Sure, the sun still exerts a gravitational tug, but from 93 million miles away, its effect is a mere whisper compared to the moon's voice. Tides shrink, dropping by nearly 75%. What once were crashing waves now become gentle ripples. To surfers, that's a bummer. But to marine life, it's an extinction-level event. Species like mussels, crabs, and snails, creatures that depend on tidal zones, lose their habitat overnight. Feeding patterns collapse. Larger predators go hungry. An entire chain of ocean life begins to unravel. But that's just the shoreline. Deep below, things get worse. Without strong tides, the global conveyor belt, the network of ocean currents that moves nutrients, oxygen, and heat across the globe, begins to fail. Cold, oxygen-rich water from the Arctic no longer sinks and flows. Warm water from the equator stagnates. Nutrients stay trapped at the bottom. Phytoplankton, the foundation of the ocean's food web, begin to die off. And with them everything else. Coral reefs bleach and crumble. Fish populations plummet. Whale migrations are thrown into chaos. And the oceans once teeming with life start to resemble a vast empty desert. But that's not all. Ocean temperatures, no longer regulated by tides and currents, begin to swing out of control. Equatorial waters boil. Polar seas freeze over. Even coastal climates begin to warp, becoming hotter, stormier, and more erratic than ever before. And as marine ecosystems collapse, humans follow. Billions rely on the oceans for food, jobs, and weather regulation. Fishing industries vanish. Coastal communities flood or dry out. Global economies teeter on the edge. All because one silent force, the moon, is no longer there to keep the tides alive. The oceans, the very lungs of our planet, are gasping for breath. And without the moon, there's no one left to resuscitate them. Part 5. A lunar ring and a sealed-off Earth. At first it's strangely beautiful. A shimmering arc in the sky, stretching from horizon to horizon. A ghostly halo made of shattered moonstone. The moon is no more. But its remains haven't gone far. Instead of dispersing across the solar system, much of the debris becomes trapped in Earth's gravity well. Over weeks, months, even years, these fragments begin to align. Piece by piece, they form a colossal ring like Saturn's, but closer, messier, deadlier. To the human eye, it's breathtaking. Glowing dust. Glinting boulders. A permanent eclipse stretched across the sky. But to scientists and satellite engineers, it's a nightmare. The newly formed lunar ring orbits at speeds exceeding 18,000 miles per hour. Each rock, each shard, is a potential bullet capable of obliterating satellites, space stations, even spacecraft. Communications disrupted. GPS unreliable. Weather forecasting practically impossible. And worse, we're trapped. The once open doorway to space, the very skies we dreamed of crossing, has become a minefield. Launching rockets through the ring, it's like trying to thread a needle in a hurricane with shrapnel flying at Mach 25. All future missions to the moon, to Mars, even emergency satellites are now grounded. Earth has become a celestial prison, wrapped in a cage of its own creation. But the danger doesn't stay in space. Some of that debris, unable to stabilize in orbit, begins to fall. Not all at once, not in predictable patterns, but randomly, terrifyingly. A quiet afternoon in Texas becomes a crater. A night out in Paris ends with fire from above. No sirens, no warning, just devastation. The ring isn't static. It shifts, wobbles, rains. And as Earth spins beneath it, we live in the shadow of what once lit our skies. The moon, broken and bitter, now circles us like a reminder of what we've lost and what we can never get back. Some might say it's poetic, others would call it tragic. But for us it's survival beneath a sky that watches and waits. Final, could this actually happen? Thankfully the moon isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Scientists estimate it would take a collision with a planet-sized object or energy beyond 600 billion SAR bombers to truly destroy it. But still the moon drifts away, inch by inch, every year. So while total destruction is unlikely, the balance it provides, that's already slipping away. One day, the night sky might look very different.